What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about sustainability. Basically, I want to give you guys 10 easy switches that you can do at home to start your journey of being more sustainable and being more environmentally conscious. When I started doing this, I realized there was so much out there and I wanted to incorporate everything, and I almost felt a little bit anxious that I wasn't doing enough. But I think the important thing with sustainability is you also want to make sure it's sustainable for you. So you're not just doing it for 2 weeks, but you're doing it in the long run. All right, so here are my 10 tips or 10 sustainable switches you can incorporate in your home. And they're easy switches and they might already be things that you're doing today. Tip number 1, use your 4-bin system. So I have a recycling bin, normal rubbish bin, a compost bin, and I have a soft plastics bin. Before you do this though, make sure you're reusing everything that you can reuse. For example, old clothes or clothes that might have rips in it, use them as rags. If you have any cardboard boxes or anything that's come in as packaging, reuse it as storage. If you want to ship something out, use that. Once you've done all of that, you want to use your 4-bin system. So your rubbish, which is obviously we all know what rubbish is. Recycling, it's really important to check what is recyclable in your council. And I'll probably screenshot a app that I use to double check when I'm not sure. And then your soft plastics. Woolworths and Coles normally take soft plastics through the TerraCycle program, and they have big bins called RedCycle or TerraCycle, and you can put your soft plastic in there. So make sure you recycle your soft plastics. What is a soft plastic? Anything that you can scrunch and it stays in a different shape. So if it pops back to its normal shape, you can recycle it. If it doesn't pop back to its normal shape, it's a soft plastic. And then the last one is your compost. Compost is great. It's great for your veggie patch if you've got one, and you can use fertilizer from that as well. I find composting amazing, and it means all your food scraps can be reused as well. That's my bin system, and that's probably the best one. Tip number 2, sustainable fashion. Thrift shopping and shopping your own wardrobe, borrowing friends' clothes. When you want to buy something new, see if you can find it in a thrift store first. I have a bit of a capsule wardrobe, so I've got all my basics and my staples. I've got everything that I kind of need, and if there's anything I need on top of that, if it's for a specific event, I'll ask a friend if they've got it. If it is something that I know I'll use a little bit, I might look at a thrift store. And then the last one is I might still buy new, but when I buy new, I try to look for the brand's sustainability policies and ethos and what they do in terms of the environment and sustainability and their ethical practices as well. I try not to support fast fashion, and I try to make sure I do buy brands that are slow fashion. Now I do understand that that's not accessible for everyone, but if we can look at things like Depop first, we're not contributing to that fast fashion and the waste that it produces as well. Tip number 3, using shampoo bars, conditioner bars, and soap bars. I made the swap to bars a while ago and I absolutely love them. And there's more and more brands that are doing bars as well now. I think that's just been really good. Bars are great for when you're traveling because you can actually just take the bar and you don't have to buy a small container. And if you find that the bar's too big, you can just cut it in half. So I've got a little stainless steel container that I just put my bars in when I am traveling, and I do travel a bit for work and for leisure as well. Tip number 4, and I'm hoping that you already do this, using reusable shopping bags. I got gifted this one years ago and it stays in my work bag every single day. It's great. I use these all the time. I've got a few in my car that stay there. I've got this one in my bag, and it's just always accessible and always there ready to go. I hope that you're already doing this one because stores don't have plastic bags anymore, and you don't want to keep accumulating a plastic bag or a reusable bag. You don't want to keep accumulating them by buying more. Tip number 5, another one that I am hoping that you're already doing, trying to support your local produce or your local farmers. I try to support them by going to farmers markets, getting my produce as fresh farmers produce. It's not always the most accessible, but when it is, it reduces transportation costs and transportation related emissions. Things that are being transported from interstate or overseas are going to have a higher carbon footprint. It's going to help local farmers and your local economy as well. Usually produce is more fresh and has less chemicals, so it is beneficial as well. I normally do a farmers market delivery service. It seems to work really well for me, but whatever works for you. Tip number 6, try to increase the number of meals that you make at home. Try to decrease the amount of times that you're buying takeaway or you're eating out. I try to limit my eating out to only weekends. The ways that I make this more sustainable for myself is I meal prep, and I try to make enough for the week for my lunches at least. I have a bit of a plan, so I've already done all my grocery shopping and I don't have to go out and do that constantly. Normally I make sure that I do have a few meals that are frozen in the freezer, and this helps for those days that you're a bit lazy and you're thinking, I might as well just buy something out, but you've got some stuff ready to go in the freezer. Along with this, I will probably also say, trying to incorporate more vegetarian meals into your everyday life. There is a lot of evidence around how detrimental the meat industry is for the environment. If you are trying to decrease your footprint, this is also a really great way, just incorporating a few more vegetarian meals. I'm not saying change it completely, just doing meatless Mondays or something like that. Tip number 7, and we can't go without saying, I absolutely love this brand. I love everything Zeroco stands for, and I love that they've thought about the environment and sustainability every step of the way. All your cleaning products can be sustainable by using brands like Zeroco that have promoted a circular system. So they're not increasing their footprint and they're using recycled plastics to create their bottles. I think our economy does need to move more towards a circular system than a producing waste and figuring out what to do with our waste type of system. These guys have done a great job with that, so definitely would recommend. Tip number 8, using a keep cup. This one's important. This one's so easily accessible. I grab a coffee almost every day, but I make sure I've got one of these in my work bag. It means that you're not using a single-use coffee cup every single time. It means that you've just got a cup in your bag or in your car ready to go, and you can grab a coffee whenever you want. I normally have one in my gym bag, one in my work bag, and one in the car. So if I am feeling like just grabbing a coffee along the way, I can give in my Keep cup. Usually you end up getting a little bit of a discount as well, so kind of saving money. Tip number 9, using an alternative to your Glad wrap. I personally use silicone lids that are malleable and they can fit multiple different shapes. You can use beeswax wraps or the vegan alternative ones as wraps, or you can just use your Tupperware containers, your glass jars and glass containers, and anything that you can still store food in that you don't need to use Glad wrap for, because Glad wrap is just single-use plastic and you've got so many alternatives to it. I recommend the silicone lids because it means that you can still leave food within the container that it was prepared in, and you can just add that lid on top. Up to you what works for you, but yeah, steering away from using Glad wrap in the kitchen. We're at the last one, and this one's a really good one. When I discovered these guys, I was really happy because it meant all these little pieces of plastic that I didn't know what to do with finally could go somewhere. The brand Banish, they have teamed up with TerraCycle so that they can recycle all of these difficult to recycle plastics. Things like when you get new contacts, the container it comes from, blister packs, makeup jars, things that are quite difficult to recycle and don't get taken in our normal recycling get taken by Banish. So I have a box that gets filled up with all those difficult to recycle recyclables, and when it's filled to a point where I can ship it off, I send it off to Banish and they can recycle it for me. I found it a little bit difficult to figure out what they do and don't recycle, but their website and their social media have a lot of information about what they do and don't recycle. So definitely check them out. I think they're doing amazing things. You also get a voucher every time you send something in. So if you are wanting to slowly transition your home into a more sustainable home, the products are all there and you can get yourself something that you need from their website as well. That's it, guys. That's your 10 very simple sustainable switches that you can incorporate in your own home. I have incorporated all of these and I find that these ones are quite easy to keep going with. I find that it's important to make sure your sustainable switches are also sustainable for you. Pick and choose what you want, so you don't have to go and do all 10, but something that's really easy for you might be just to take a Keep cup with you. So try to incorporate that and consciously think about doing it. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you'd like to have a discussion about sustainability, because I absolutely love this topic. I think it's so important that we are talking about this more. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment and subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram or send me a message on YouTube. whatever it is, I'd love to connect with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.